Hi, welcome to today's video. My name is Paul. So this week I've done a couple of charcoal landscape drawings. One of them for Patreon and one for YouTube. And in both cases, they're pretty much unedited videos. So you'll just see the full drawing process from blank piece of paper right through to the finished drawing. Just wanted to post these. It might be of interest to people to see the whole drawing process. The video itself is not that long because although it's a completed picture, completed drawing, I tend to draw very fast, so the whole video is only about 5 minutes long. In the past I've tried drawing slower, but it doesn't really work for me. There's a few things that start to happen. So first of all, I tend to overthink everything. If I give myself too much time to draw, I start to overthink, and that usually doesn't end very well, so I try to avoid that. Try to avoid too much thinking in general. Other things is when I'm drawing slowly or too slowly, I think the drawing loses some spontaneity and freshness, and it's not as loose. Everything sort of tightens up a bit, and I don't usually like the final results. So it is my preference just to draw as fast as I can. I'm not saying that that's how everybody should draw. I think it's maybe linked to personality as well. Some people like a tighter, more controlled drawing process, and some people like me just like a spontaneous, loose, fast drawing process. And part of that as well is I don't use any reference material, so in other words, I'm just making it up as I go along. Again, for me, that just helps to make it more spontaneous. In terms of materials, again, pretty simple. As I've said in other videos, it's just a piece of willow charcoal, a cheap sketchbook, and you saw me using a piece of tissue paper to smudge the charcoal. And then you'll also see me using a kneaded eraser. Again, the eraser is not being used as an eraser as such. It's not there to fix mistakes. It's there as a drawing tool. The way I use charcoal is I tend to build up sort of layers. I put down some charcoal, smudge it a bit, and then I put down more layers on top of that. And I also then go in and start using a kneaded eraser to lift off some of that charcoal. It just creates these layers of sort of tonal layers. And I like the way you can build up sort of detail, or you can imply detail by creating these different layers. Other things I can say in terms of the composition, again, very simple. It's using this idea of the country lane or country road going off into the distance, so you've got that linear perspective, and then that leads you on to the more distant hills. And doing that just helps to create that feeling of depth in the drawing. Also, I've heard some people say that creating this sort of entry into the painting, if you like, this road where people can imagine going down the road sort of thing, it helps them to feel as though they can get into the painting, if you like. I don't know if that's true, but certainly when I look at those sort of paintings, it is the sort of feeling that I can get. It's as though the painting is open to you, kind of thing. And you can see me now using the kneaded eraser just to lift off some of that charcoal. And then I'll go back in and put down some more charcoal again, just to get these different layers of values. It just makes the final drawing a bit more interesting, I think. As I say, this drawing is coming completely out of my head. I'm making it up, so if anybody out there wants to use it as a kind of reference or some inspiration, feel free. If you do produce any final drawings and you want to post them onto the internet, that's fine. I would love if you could reference where the original idea came from, but I'm not going to chase after you for any copyright infringements or anything. I say it came out of my head, so feel free to use it as a basis for a drawing or a painting. So this is a scan of that final drawing then. As I like the final result. You get this feeling of depth, I think, in the drawing. And you can see where I've added in that darker charcoal in the foreground. Just these layers of values creating a feeling of details. Okay, well, if you made it this far, thank you for watching. Hopefully the video was enjoyable and maybe even informative a little bit. And hopefully see you in the next video.